Fun.
And we are back. Can you believe this? What is today? November 5th? November 5th, 2025. This is the Hey Coach 224 podcast. It's kind of funny because I've never explained before that I remember. Darius, did I ever explain the whole 224, that fun stuff like that? Studio sign here is 224. Our Hey Coach podcast, 224. Quite easy. My favorite number is 24. My wife's favorite number is 22. Put them together. There we are. There's a lot of other meanings to that. I've heard along the way, today, tomorrow, forever. It's kind of worked well for me and my wife as well, too. We didn't know that at the first time, but that's why the studio and this is all named what it is. It's to honor our relationship and to honor the coaches' relationships that we have. And today is a very special day. We're getting rid of ghosts today, Darius. But before we start getting rid of ghosts and introducing our guest today, I'm going to be asking you, D. Let's cut the camera 4. We got to go to camera 4, see what's young D got going on today. You better not disappoint. What are you wearing over there, brother?
Something calm, the gray Jordan hoodie. It's getting cold.
Yeah, a little gray outside.
Everything else
hoodie.
is the same Nike pants.
Nice.
Same New Balance.
It's all right, though. I like that top, though. You got it rocking right there. Anything good going on in school? Intern D?
I just finished my midterms, so.
You rocking some good grades or what?
I hope so. I mean,
tough.
They're, I don't know. It's just kind of difficult.
What was the toughest one? What was the toughest class?
I'm trying to think. Probably I have a film history class, and the only reason why that one was kind of hard is because it was just a lot of memorizing. I'm just better at
That's all history is.
Yeah.
You can't recreate it anymore. It's just regurgitate. But I love history. So any good memories out of that, D? Any something you could share?
Not really. That's my 9 a.m. So I'm just dozing off.
He's keeping it real.
I'm just there for the attendance, man.
I love it. Be honest. We all went through that when we were in school, right, Matt? You had those classes. Yeah. Just is what it is. Get there and get it done.
Yeah.
Well, today is, as I had mentioned previously, we're going to what's the word? What you'd use in the two? Exhume some ghosts here. Our episode 2 with our favorite producer at the time, before he was fired, Griffin Perry. It's the last I'll mention him because Young D has been doing a superlative job over there getting things done for us, keeping things smooth, moving the cameras around, making sure that, it's a little bit more than it seems, but you just got to stay on top of the things. And Matt Mincone, I am so happy to have you back on the show. I appreciate you making another journey to the studio. Matt is first of all, Matt's been a longtime friend of mine. I'd rather start that way. Family friend, I would consider. Your dad, Lou Mincone, yourself, known you essentially our whole lives since we were, probably 5, 6, 7. I don't know. It's the first teams we played hockey together on. Matt took a real interesting trip to the island of Martha's Vineyard and decided not to come back.
Yeah.
See his father at the golf course. And how's Matt doing? He's on the island. Yeah. While on the island, Matt's love for hockey continued. He, what year did you grab that coaching job over there?
98.
1998. Imagine how long ago that sounds right now, huh?
Yeah,
Darius, when were you born, Darius?
2005.
See what we're talking about? So you took the head coaching job on the island.
Well, I was the assistant for 3 years. And then I took over as the head coach in the 01-02 season.
Yeah.
2001, 2002, I took over as a head coach.
Yeah.
And
so let's talk a little bit about it. Yeah. You didn't go there just to coach hockey.
No. I went after what brought me down. There was a summer policing job, because that's the career that I was looking at. And that's why I never left. I ended up spending a couple of summers going.
So you were a summer cop.
I was a summer cop.
What they call the rental cops down there.
Yeah, I was a summer cop for 3 years, 3 summers, and then was either the third summer or the fourth summer I never left. I ended up going to the police academy up here in Canton, graduated that, got a full-time job in the town of West Tisbury, started with them in 95 and retired September 8th.
Of this past
Just went by.
24.
25.
September 25.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. I knew that actually.
Like,
it feels a long time ago, but
yeah.
Wow. What a ride, huh? Just in terms of, we'll digress for a second. Being a cop on the island must be like from 5 million people in the summer to 5 people. I don't know what the exact numbers are, but it must be such a change.
It was really, everything's magnified there is how I'll put it, and especially, I started as a patrol officer and worked the last 8.5 years. I was the police chief in the town of West Tisbury. So even more amplified, and add that to the coaching part. You're out there, and whether you want to be or not, and you're being judged all the time. But we accept that. I've always said I got the police chief's job because I was a coach. And I attribute it to that because now I have professional police officers underneath my watch that I'm coaching, so just one of them's a lot different. They make a mistake in the police world that could be bad.
Catastrophic.
Right? Yeah. But, I had I don't have to knock on wood anymore. I had a great career.
That's awesome. For those of us, and myself included, I really don't know this answer. How many towns are on
6?
Martha's Vineyard?
6.
So what is the largest and what is, is it vast difference between the biggest and smallest?
There's Up Island and Down Island, they refer to it. Okay. Up Island, it would be like West Tisbury, where I was, geographically is the biggest. It's in the middle of the island, has the airport, a lot of woods, farms, etc. Heading further up island is Chilmark and then Aquina, which used to be called Gayhead. Wampanoags are up there. Down Island, which are the 3, populated the most towns, Edgartown, Oak Bluffs, and Tisbury, or Vineyard Haven.
Where the ferries are.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so that's honestly thanks, because I think a lot of our listeners out there who are going to see this is like, you know what? I think of Martha's Vineyards, it's one place. It's not.
When I first looked for, I was working in the Taunton District Court doing my, I didn't tell you this before, but the probation department was my internship through college.
Oh, cool.
And I was, and the woman I worked with there had said to me, you should try the police officer thing. It's a little more action than sitting at a desk doing, indigency reports at the Taunton District Court. And I'm like, all right. So I called 401 for the Martha's Vineyard Police. I had no idea either. I'd gone there once as a kid. My dad, mom, and brother all went down there, rented bikes, drove across the island. It's a lot farther than you think it is, right?
It sure is.
But yeah, and
that's a funny thing with tourists, I'm sure, right? Like, oh, I'm gonna see Martha's Vineyard. You're gonna see like Oaks Bluff. You're gonna see that little marina area. Get back on the ferry, go home. You're not gonna really see that much of the island.
But it served everything for me. That the community there was, like I said, there's a lot of judgment that goes on, but that's everywhere.
Yeah, of course.
And I realized it was time. Personally, my wife did not live on the island with me. She lived in Falmouth. We had kind of a unique marriage. We're going on year 5. So she'd come over weekends. I'd go over a couple of times during the week. So we just decided enough of that. I retired from the police world when I get to that ripe old age that I won't say yet. And then we bought a house back here.
You're the same age as me.
Yeah.
The ripe old age. Speaking of that, is that common on the island? Do you find people working off the island, or is there enough for everyone who wants to live there?
There's a lot of the workforce comes from off island.
Yeah.
You see the 7 a.m. boat in the morning packed.
Yeah, I think you mentioned to me, right? You sold your place on the island, and you're like, so feel really smart doing that, I bet.
Yeah, it was quite the investment.
That's awesome.
Back in 1997.
Well, congratulations, because it takes that to be there in 97 to be able to buy something. So, and I'm sure back then you were sweating what you were buying, because
absolutely.
It wasn't like it was just discovered in 97, or something of that nature. But
it was possible then to go down there and think, I'm going to try and do a career here. Even making a patrol officer's salary, which wasn't much, but the cost of living so much higher there. Everything's higher.
Of course. Yeah.
And, but I mean, if that's what this show turns into, the difference is like, I had a pizza delivered to my house. You don't understand what that means here. Right? Amazon package can come in the same day. It's 10 days over there.
That's right. So, that's right. Yeah.
It's I always used to say Martha's Vineyard, if I wrote a book, it would be hurry up and wait. You know what I mean? You rush to get to the boat. You're supposed to be there 30 minutes before to get a reservation, and you're sitting waiting. and you get on the boat. It's a 45-minute ride. Everything is hurry up and wait, but you learn to have a different kind of patience there, I think. And
well, nobody hurry ups and waits in sports, right? So, I mean, that just presents challenges for you. And would you say organization is one of your strengths then?
It had to be there. But the interesting thing about Martha's Vineyard, it's the only way they know it. The kids that play youth hockey there growing up know that an away game is a boat trip.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So you get to the boat 30 minutes before it's going to leave. It's a 45-minute boat ride, then a bus ride wherever you're going. That's youth hockey straight through.
Right.
Maybe not the bus. It could be parents carpooling from, having cars off island and stuff. But
right.
And
that's and what are we looking at here? D threw up a picture of the rink. There's your 2002 state champs.
Yeah, that was year one.
That's year one of getting going. That's pretty quick in your season when you think of it. You said 98 you started, right?
Yeah, 98, 99, then 99, 2000.
You can pull that one down now. Go back to the home screen there. Go ahead. Sorry, man.
That's fine. In 99, 2000, I was the assistant coach. We won the D3 state championship. And then there was a break for a year.
Say that again. I'm sorry. 99 you won?
The 99.
That's right. Wasn't it like almost your first season?
It was actually 2000.
Yeah,
the 99, 2000 season.
Yep.
We won Division III. I was the assistant coach in the defense then.
Yeah.
2 years later, we moved up to Division II. I was then the head coach at that point, and we won it then in my first year as head coach. We had we went 20 wins, 5 losses, and a tie, moving up a division. I just had special players. I think back now,
everybody needs them, Matt. Doesn't mean you're going to win though. You can have special players and not win. We all know that. So
it was an adjustment going from the assistant coach to the head coach, because a lot of those players that were on the team that.
What did you see going from being an assistant coach on a championship team? What did you learn that you carried over to being a coach? What did you think? I mean, you can't do it much better, but you said, you had to go up a division. You had to do it a little better.
Yeah.
What did you take out of that first, as a coach, and then as assistant coach, and then as a head coach?
I'll tell you something great that you'll get out of this is that I learned to value my assistant coaches. As a head coach, you can go in there and it's your way and you're going to do this, that, and the other, and maybe take sort of that, that approach that it's your way. And to collaborate, I had one assistant coach and I went and handpicked him. His name was Andy Merrick. And
you on your new staff, you're saying?
My brand new staff, yeah.
So how many were on the previous staff?
There was 2. So I was an assistant. There was another assistant and the head coach, And then there was the start of a JV program then. So my first year I had 2 coaches that did the JV team, myself and an assistant coach.
Did JV coaches help with the varsity game?
No.
So they were separate.
They were separate, yeah. And but I'm not going to say, for lack of better terms, they didn't listen to me, because the staff that I became part of as the third and the first year, I think I was hired for accountability, because I was a police officer. The head coach at the time there, I was friendly with both of them, played men's league with them and all that stuff, but I don't think I was their first pick. By the time, the other coach had moved on, clearly he and I had a different kind of bond, and we'll leave it at that.
Did you get along with him well enough?
Oh, yeah.
Very well. Okay.
He's one of the first people I met on the island, because we used to play men's league hockey against him in New Bedford. They'd commute over and play. Then I started playing with them a little bit. Then I ended up there. He was a full-time police officer in the town I was in.
Yep.
So I had a very good relationship with him.
Did you inherit a team that was returning, or did you know what I mean? Like, or with the stud kids on that, when your assistant team won the championship Division III?
There was, I'll tell you, that was one of those areas in time where you had brothers, and I
gotta love the younger brothers.
I swear, the younger brothers, and there was a lot of, the year we won it in 2002, there was only 3 seniors.
Yeah.
So the thought process was, hey, we're going to take another run at it next year. And then little pieces of things kind of fell apart. One of the best defensemen, who was the interviewee in the last time I was here on the screen, he ended up leaving his senior year, went to St. Mark's.
Yeah, yeah. So, he's not going to be here today. He mentioned he wished he didn't do that. Yeah, and I don't, not like it was the worst decision of his life, but as you look back and as an adult, and you look at yourself as a kid and you just want, how do I get to play for BC? Or, I'm sure he's looking at that. He just won a couple championships and, how do I move to that next level? And there's people in your ear and there's coaches in your ear. And
absolutely.
They think they know what's best. And you know what's best, Matt? Effing win.
Yeah.
Just win.
Yeah.
If you win, people find you. People, no one's scared to find somebody playing basketball at BR or hockey at Martha's Vineyard. If you're a winner, man, like what were they saying about? I think it's talking about. I think it was Drake May. He won all 4 years in high school. He won when he was at North Carolina. He wins.
Yeah.
Like, guess what? He wasn't at Alabama. He wasn't at Georgia. He was at North Carolina. He won.
I'm a firm believer being a big fish in a little pond is okay.
It's fine.
You know, and I've seen a lot of, you know, when you talk in comparison to what's going on in high school hockey over this way, it didn't touch me. I maybe lost 6 players over all those years that left early. 5 of the 6 came back saying they wish they never left. Just because the experience, which is uniquely different on the island.
And uniquely different for hockey.
Yes. You know, and I think all the sports over there are just supported so well. So it's such a community there. You know, during the wintertime, there's not a lot going on anyways, but it's picked up over the years. But hockey, basketball, you know, girls hockey, girls basketball. I mean, they're attended pretty well, you know.
Must be the fun thing to do on the island. I mean, let's face it. It takes 10 days to get Amazon delivery. You know, I'm sure there's still some of that old town feel for a Friday night game, a Saturday night game. You know what I mean? Like it's still popular around here too. I mean, kids still like to go to their games. There's certain ones, especially in the winter. It's not as much going on, you know. Movies isn't a big thing. I think sports still is able to draw a pretty good student body section if you're like we going back to if you're winning.
Like, I remember there was some years that because we, you know, part of your thing might be that the NHL documentary that they came down there and did on myself and the varsity hockey team,
which is crazy. And anybody listening to this, just go on YouTube and look up Martha's Vineyard hockey, and you'll get to this. And Matt is quite famous for. If you can't tell by looking at him here on the video, this Scally hat has been around. We wore those when we were kids, for God's sakes. I don't think there's much that's changed as I've known you over the years to be in a limelight and not be able to still be a real person. But that documentary was kind of cool. Cause I mean, even me sitting here talking to you, there's a little bit of like, as a coach, it's like, God, you got to deal with organizational stuff. And the interesting thing is it's just part of our life. Yeah. It's not an organization that you can't think if you want to go off the island for anything, you got a plan.
Well, I mean, keep in mind too, I wasn't from there. So this was all when I was the assistant for a couple of years, you know, whether it was the hockey knowledge that I got from, you know, the other coach, because he was brilliant. The logistic part was a huge piece for me. I'm like, how does this work? And I changed that over the 27 years I did it. You know, and it used to be, you know, the boat ride was 45 minutes. I'd have the rink board out going over stuff. And I realized they got to talk to one another and just, you know, have that, you know, and then the bus ride is like they're, you know, getting dismissed from school at 1:15. I don't know if they ate lunch. You know, just little things like help them grow up. I think that's.
I'm sure you bought a meal or two on the ferry for somebody here or there.
There's a couple of hey, you want a bite of my sandwich? They're just giving the whole sandwich because, you know, my whole thing was a big advocate of the 7 Ps, which, you know, proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance.
Say that again.
Proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance.
I like that. The 7 Ps.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've heard that one, Matt.
There's a 6 Ps. I can say that as a boys coach. Proper prophylactic protection prevents premature pregnancy. So those things didn't come up before, but that's boiled down from my police academy over into this world.
Well,
so
it's still good advice today.
No, just preparation. I think it's key, and you have a different level of it over there. Yeah. You're preparing for. You forget your sandwich or lunch. You're looking at you're looking at the other guys on the team, and they're like, you know.
Yeah, preparation or preparation H. It's which one do you want? It's the same thing.
100%.
So let me ask you this. When we were growing up, I mean, youth hockey was so fun, so exciting. We traveled, go to Springfield, we went to Canada. We did all kinds of crazy stuff, right? What's the youth hockey like on the island?
Same idea. I don't think they're doing an exchange in Canada like it used to be. Like we used to
we just stayed at somebody we never met before's house for a week.
I remember it was like
a weekend, I should say.
It was called Longueuil, Quebec.
Yeah.
I'll never forget the name of it. Longueill or something.
And you just stayed at somebody's house.
Some random
Good
person.
Lord.
Now that'd have to be Corey.
Oh my God. Yeah. It would never happen. And it was a blast. Yeah. I mean, I never had a bad experience with any of them. And we'd do it with Greenfield, Mass. Never mind going to You'd have a weekend where You
There's
know,
so many tournaments that.
and then the parents all went and got drunk at the bar because you have a kid for the weekend.
Well, we experienced a lot of that with on the Vineyard. You know, we played in a 3-day Christmas tournament, holiday tournament, if you will, at the University of New Hampshire. So that was 2 nights overnight. You know, and that we did that like 12 or 13 years. I think COVID broke it up for a couple of years, but I went every year because it was such a good experience playing on college ice. Granted, UNH is closed because it's Christmas break.
It's so cool.
And just staying in the hotel, you know, it was around Christmas time, so it was sort of early enough in the season that the bonding was all there and kind of synergized the kids, you know.
Yeah.
And but that's, you know, they go to tournaments Lake Placid all the time. You know,
that leads to a good point though, Matt. I mean, I think the key to any successful team to put you over an edge is that bonding with the team.
Couldn't agree more.
Is it always good? Is it a problem? I mean, kids get along, but it seems like they spend way more time with each other off ice than a normal team would.
Well, you have the cliques, right? I mean, you know, you see a car
Gotta
leave.
be careful of that too, though.
But you see a car leave in practice, and it's, you know.
Oh yeah.
You know, there's.
It's a clown car.
I turn.
You turn your head as a cop. I'm sure. There's not enough seatbelts when I just saw go by.
But what I like the most down there is that you would see, you know, these freshmen that might make the team or a sophomore getting in the car and a senior's giving them a lift wherever they're going. That's just you know, and I'm sure it's here, right? I just haven't been here in 30 years. So I've been watching some captains' practices here, and I'm seeing a lot of mannerisms that are a little bit different here. I can explain those in a minute, but just seeing the kids get in the car and the expectations are all parents and everybody, it's a tiny island when it comes to that. So, you know, and who's, you know, if they get in trouble, who's the first person the police are calling? Me.
Of course.
You know, so, and
that doesn't matter if you were the chief of police or, as his father, Doug Alves, works in the school.
Yeah.
You're still the first one.
Yeah.
Because you hold them accountable in a different kind of way. And I think they have a lot more respect for their coaches than a lot of other people in their lives.
I, like, again, knock, because I'm going back into it, but like I didn't have, there was some stuff that I experienced that I used to do every year for fallen players. And in my watch, none of them fell. You know?
What do you mean by fallen players?
Players had passed away.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Whether it was a car accident.
Right.
You know, one kid I had in youth hockey who was in high school, I was, I think I was the assistant coach that year. But, you know, the players had passed. I had a couple of kids that graduated, got in car accidents on the island and died. You know, we remember them forever and put wreaths on their grave around the holidays for their families and stuff. And that was something that I kind of inherited that I kept up for the past however long, and I'm sure that the next coach will, you know. But I didn't have to experience that as the head coach. But, you know, I'm so thankful for it.
Let's talk about where you are now. You spent all these years at Martha's Vineyard.
Yep.
When you were here for episode 2, what is it now, D? Is this episode 8, I think? We're around that.
Yeah.
Episode 8. You were just, you hadn't, I think you announced it here or were going to announce it the next day or something like that. Yep. Did you announce it here? Like, it was so fresh when you were here that first time.
I had the banquet ending in the season, and I didn't want to say nothing at the banquet. It was about the players, not me. And then I had put the letter into the school that next day because I knew that I was going to be, come the end of July is when the police clock was going to be up. I pushed that to September to help the town out. And then, but I knew I wasn't, if things worked, that wasn't going to be.
So you said bon voyage, you know, you got on one last ferry almost for it all, like wave goodbye to it all.
I really did.
Wow.
You know what I mean? I remember that of course, I was going back and forth in July, starting to move into the place that I purchased over in Berkeley. And, but it was the last trip off the island was following the moving trucks on September 8th. You know, there was a say goodbye ceremony for me and welcome to the new chief. I think that was the 8th and I left the 9th.
Wow.
Yeah. But I mean, I sold my house in 4 days.
Of course.
You know, I mean, it was just insane what's going on.
That's great.
You know?
I mean, I'm glad you got to be able to take advantage of that. So what was that like for you, Matt? Seriously, you know, the whole, I know you're not a, you know, give me the limelight guy. But come on, you were there for a long time. You were very well respected, both as a coach and a police chief. You probably never have that kind of situation in your life again, no matter what you do. So
no, but, and that's, you know, how do my analogy is going to be like the tides, right? They come and go. And I hung on to something for a long time over there. and I always felt like I wasn't home. And that might make a lot of sense to you.
It does, because I go to Chatham.
Yeah.
And I would be there in the summer. It's its own island. It's the elbow of the Cape for those that don't know.
But home now, like, and not to be, too crazy, is with my wife. And just, she'd come weekends, and it was just like, okay, Sunday night she'd leave, be like, ugh, and then try and take the boat over a couple times a week, have dinner with her or whatever. And that was a choice we both had made. I never thought she was going to come live on the island.
Yeah.
So, just because she's in Falmouth.
So you're in Berkeley now?
I'm in Berkeley.
Nice.
Yeah.
And she was in Falmouth. She's in Berkeley?
She's in Berkeley with me.
Awesome.
She still has her business in Falmouth, so she's driving back and forth every day, twice.
Wow.
Yeah, in one of those Teslas that drive for you, right? Everything
awesome.
Everything has a price.
What's your wife's name?
Jenny.
Jenny.
Yeah.
Well, kudos to you, Jenny, for putting up with this cat for all these years. So
well, she's the first one, and this is super important for any partners out there that might listen to your podcast, that the support that they give makes it possible for us to do it.
There's not a person that sat in your chair, not me sitting over there, not that young man over there doesn't know that.
Yeah.
A lot of people sacrifice for, this is a love thing that we do. It's not a money thing.
No.
And, you got to have somebody that appreciates at least you.
Yeah.
It helps if they appreciate sports.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then it really helps. Like my wife is a total jock. She's a total athlete. She gets it 100%. She sees me going to whatever I'm doing, and all she thinks about is what she's going to go do.
Yeah.
She's a warrior 5-6 days a week in the gym. So, she just looks at that time. So I'm super lucky.
Yeah.
I can tell you, Doug Al's wife, she's awesome. Doug lives in a gym for basketball, my guy. AAU all year round, crazy. And she just loves him, and she shows up, and she'll do her thing at home and do her thing on her own. And then she shows up for games, and it's, it's so nice to see
being able to do something you love, having someone supporting you love it.
Yeah.
It's a whole different world.
Of course. I mean, it's easy to love Joe Mazzulla if you make $20 million a year, and, but let's face it, what you're making 10 to 15 or 5 or whatever, or nothing. You know what I mean? That it's not about that at all. Yeah. So, hey, going back to the little bit of let's go back to the X's and O's, so to speak. So you win your championship. You said you had brothers. Is that right? Like continuation was a little bit of the brothers?
I had one family, the Cooper Riders. There were 5 of them.
I love talking names.
I can bring it up. The Betancourt brothers were the first set. Now, Timmy Betancourt was my captain in that 2002 season. And he and I locked horns in the beginning because he was a holdover captain from the other coach. So once we figured it out, I played on his men's league team last year. We won the whole thing. So he ended up being my neighbor. It's just how small the island is, But,
throw up a men's league. He showed a picture of him still in the
men's league.
I think there's a photo of him on skates or something like that. So anyways,
so there was I got back involved playing with the younger guys last year. I wish that was me.
Oh no, that's gotta be one of your guys.
Yeah, that was John Gibson. Was his name?
Yeah, he was
a.
Oh yeah, there's some more.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's our old school picture right there too. Oh, there's Matt on the bench. Yeah, that's you coaching there too, huh?
Yep.
Oh, look at that! You got the board right up on the glass. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I used to hate moving that thing around so much.
Then
the exchange was I had to jump over the boards all the time to get up there. To write the, you know what I mean? It just can't be that lazy, right?
Yeah, that's cool.
I forget.
So you were talking about the brothers. The Betancourt brothers were the first. One of them was a leftover for the captain. See, I'm not. I got to tell my wife, I'm fine. I'm not losing my memory short term at least.
And there was, but the Cooper Rider brothers that I remember specifically because there were 5 of them, and they all were different. 2 of them were twins, completely different. One's a forward, one was a defenseman, but. The one that was the biggest pain in the butt for me, his name was Jock Cooper Rider, was on my line when we won the men's league championship last year, and just it seems
like the pain in the butts love the game.
And that kid probably would have been a top line player for me any other year but that year, because just the talented that group that was together for so long, and players just they develop uniquely different from
kids from the age of 14 to 17 are wildly different in how they mature, how they grow. I mean, I had a kid on our basketball team. Logan Tripp showed me stretch marks on his back.
Yeah.
I think when he was a freshman, he's a junior now. When he's a freshman, Matt, he might have been 5'8", 9". He's 6'4".
Wow.
I mean, you're growing like that. never mind the chemicals in your body are all
And I have to
twisted.
I have to mention the Munt brothers, M-U-N-D-T. Now,
The Munt.
their dad was the manager at the rink when I first started. He worked for the Philadelphia Flyers. He was their equipment manager guy.
Love it.
So he brought a different thought process for me in the locker room on how to design things and stuff. But they're his two kids, Ryan and Craig Munt. Ryan ended up with 218 career points. He's like right up there in the state for,
Wow.
And
that's in 20 games. That's 80 games, 200 points. You're averaging 2-3 points a game.
Him and another player, because they were, when I was the assistant during that sort of celebration, him and this kid, Andrew Phillips, were just, lights out every game. And they played with, they were angry. You know what I mean? They wanted to keep scoring. They wanted to knock you on your ass, But then the younger brother, Craig, was part of my state championship team. And there's a center.
What's that noise, D?
I don't know.
Is it coming from you? No, it'll pay. Oh, it's probably the heat. Sorry, bro. So the youngest brother?
Craig eclipsed the 100-point mark.
Wow.
And he was just special player.
I love that. I would say 100 points in hockey is like 1,000 points in basketball. It's very similar. Yeah. Probably because, you get some of those assists, some of those third-party assists, the same as like getting a layup in basketball, if you know what I mean.
I think I had like 9 100-point scores in my entire
so that's 1,000-point score in basketball.
2 of them were last year. And the last one before that, it's fresh in my head. The last one before that was this kid, Tyson Arujo, who was probably the top player I've ever coached. Just, him, there was always a 1-2 punch. Him and this other player, Brian Frazier, they created a power play, trick play that we had that they probably scored 30, 40 goals doing it. And it was amazing to watch. But 2014, he eclipsed 100 points. Tyson Arujo did, and hasn't up until it'd been 10 years. So I had Nathan Averill, who was a captain last year, and Hunter Johnson. Both did it last year. And, it's different. They're just different players. And then poor Averill kid, I think it was maybe the 6th game, broke leg, gone. Senior year. It was just terrible.
It's the worst. It's the worst.
And the whole team sort of was affected by it.
Yeah.
One player.
So that was your last year?
Yeah, that was last year.
Oh, man. Because I was going to say, man, you got 2,000-point scorers. What's going on?
Yeah.
One of them dropped a leg.
Well, I mean, yeah.
That the residual effect of that is it's immeasurable sometimes. If you get one of your leaders, so to speak, who just
our secondary scoring, I'm getting deep in the weeds here, but our secondary scoring last year continued, and the amount of games that he played, we had 40-something points. When he wasn't there, there was 20-something. So the secondary stayed. Just the primary, took a shot. And, you try every card playing hand you can and shuffle players up and stuff, and you just can't find something special like that sometimes. You can work hard, win a game by a goal or two.
It's amazing. Like, I played a ton of hockey, as you know. Yeah. If your third line's good, you're really good.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's hockey to me. Your fourth line can be your fourth line. Yeah. I don't care. But if you can get 9 forwards, 6 defensemen on a hockey team, you got to be deep in hockey to be good. You start running 1-2, 1-2, first line, second line, first line, second line. You're not going to win a lot of games come the end of the season. Hockey is that beast where you got to be able to play that third line consistently, and they have to put up points, not just be out on the ice to not give up points, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. So
how did you manage that?
Same, pretty much my whole theory had always been I wanted 3 lines. The third line was more of a supportive line. If they went out and chipped in a goal, great, we're winning. You know what I mean? But I was never a huge matching lines type coach, but if you see a player in the other team that has 60 points in the season, like you got to stop him. He's going to beat us alone. Nauset High School last year had one of those kids play just like that. His name was Logan Poole, and that was like you have 5 men's league players out there that are brilliant. He's just that good. You know what I mean? So you try to slow him up, knowing he's going to get a goal or 2, and you got to get 3 against a team that doesn't give any up. Good luck. But
would you rather have a high score or a better goalie?
I'd rather have a good goalie.
Just making sure things are still the same.
Yeah. No, I mean, moving on to our next piece about what I'm going to do this year. That's what I've been watching, And
so where are you now? Let's get right to that. Yeah. We haven't mentioned it, right? So off the island.
Off the island, got the place there, realized.
Retired for a minute and then said, I don't think I'm retired.
Retired for a minute. Wondered what I was going to do that Monday after Thanksgiving, because it's clearly something.
To me, it sounded like you're you're tired and retired from the island.
That's exactly what it was.
But it's not necessarily retired from hockey.
No, No. I mean, at the time I didn't know I was going to be looking, right? I coached there forever and finished my career. I'm like, now what am I gonna do? And everyone says when, whether it's police, whatever else, when you retire, you lose your identity, right? And you gotta like, what are you gonna do? And I'm like, well, what am I gonna do? And I'm not a craftsman to be fixing my house. You know what I mean? So, but I've been working on that slowly.
Neither am I. But I am good enough.
Yeah, and I'm
got to be good enough.
I'm getting by, and I can pick up the phone and call someone, right? And then
It's good to have a network.
I looked one day to see, I had heard some rumors about Bridgewater Rainham, which is where I went, and I didn't see anything open there. And then I saw Southeastern Regional, which is in a co-op with Bristol Plymouth, and over the past couple of years, I developed a great relationship with a coach named Mark Leonard, who coached at Peabody High School for a while, and then he moved on to Essex Tech, which is a vocational school. All right. And I'm wondering, like, how are these teams so good all of a sudden? Well, they're drawing from, right now, Southeastern Regional and Bristol Plymouth draw from 19 communities.
They used to be 2 or 3 or 4, maybe Lakeville.
But you have.
It's so hard to get in there, and if you see what they're building at Bristol Plymouth right now, it's insane. I mean, so Southeast you're getting a draw now. It used to be get the leftovers.
The reality is this: they're not going there to play hockey. You know what I mean? They're going there.
Oh yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah, they're going there for the trade.
It's not CM or
I'm learning a lot about the differences between
But you're getting better students and you're getting better athletes, I would say, than ever before.
Like I said, I came in blind to this. I was able to handpick a couple of coaches to work with me, so I know what I'm going to have. I went and watched. They've been. Captain's practice is Sunday mornings at 7 a.m. and it's full.
It's aggressive. That's a good sign.
Right? So I don't know if it is or it isn't. I know that on the island, their first captain's practice, the kids would be out there. There'd be 7 kids in the ice. And the captains would be like, what is this? I'm like, not everyone feels the way you do about this. So.
I think our captain's practice, now we're at D1 BR.
Yeah.
Their captain's practice had like 40 something.
Yeah.
There.
I think it's different over here. But anyways,
it's different.
And what I saw was from a team.
Well, hockey, man, you can't just show up. You can't just say, hey, I'm going to play hockey today.
Yeah, exactly.
Some kids do that with basketball, bro. They show up you ain't got sneakers, you can't play. Like, what are you thinking here? You can't go out there in shoes.
Yeah. But just seeing what I saw and knowing about, there's a choice there. I asked one of the mothers.
So Danny Tripp.
Yeah, Danny
I
Tripp.
mentioned one kid today with a stretch mark. That's his son, Logan Tripp. That's Danny's son that plays basketball for me. The other one plays hockey. But Danny Tripp then hired you over there. And I forgot about that.
I reached out to him because I saw the job opening. Ended up doing a Zoom interview.
You should have. I wish I knew you did. Did you know Danny before then?
Oh yeah.
Oh okay. I figured you.
Trippa was that guy, right?
Yeah. Of course.
I just met with him earlier today and told him I was doing this. And he's like, "Oh, say hello,"
Yeah.
And but he was one of those guys back in the day that was just nails.
He was a really good athlete. Never mind hockey. He was really good at everything he did.
Yeah, everything he touched.
Yeah, but hockey and football definitely is his pieces of work.
He hasn't changed, in the big picture. I mean, he's still, I think he'd rather not be.
Great personality. Danny's always the first one to come over and ask you how you're doing, not worrying about how he's doing. And you know what? I'll tell you this as a dad, because I have his son.
Yeah.
He's the perfect dad, no noise, I'll go up and talk to him because I'm the coach. I'm like, Danny, we can talk. Yeah. We've been friends our whole lives. Just because your son plays with me, it's not going to change anything when he's on the ice. But he's that good of a parent, so to speak, an athlete's parent.
And I'm convinced it's like he knows what he's getting. You know what I mean? And I had that talk with him today that I'm like, hey, if I'm doing something wrong, I expect you to talk to me about it because I'm going to talk to you if I think you are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've been around athletic directors for a while. They've come and gone, and they especially on the island. Gentleman Mark McCarthy was the athletic director for the past however many years. The logistics with boats, buses, and everything. Not to mention referees getting them to the venues. But no, I'm excited about that Monday after and seeing the work ethic that I'm seeing out of these kids so far is
that's good.
It's a blank page. So
hey, you know what? I was talking to Doug again. I'm going to reference my guy over at BR. Yeah. We were just saying, man, we got to enjoy it. You got to enjoy it, especially like the wins. You got to really. Sometimes you win in a hockey game 1-0, and you're like, was that really a win? Or you win a fluke game. No, you still got to enjoy those wins. And sometimes if you're competitive or, any of those things, you're stuck in like, we could have done better.
Yeah.
And I saw something with Mike Vrabel, the little clip after the last game. They just won by 1 point. The guy, the Atlanta Falcon kicker there missed the extra point. Oh, how do you get on the bus if you're that one, right?
Yeah.
Feel bad for him. But Mike Vrabel goes right in the locker room like they won by 25. You know what I mean? And I appreciate that because that night they're going to be watching film and you're going to get into the weeds. But hey, you know how hard you work to get those wins, and in high school you only get 20 games.
Yeah.
And 5% of your season, man. Like, enjoy it.
It's a super interesting point you made too, because something that I have a great opportunity because I can do it again now. And I know some of the things that I wasn't very good at was like, you'd get a win or a loss, but it was always, I never felt good about, I want to beat the team we're not supposed to beat. You know what I mean? And a ranking team or something like that. And you just work so hard, but the teams that you're supposed to beat, you're beating them. But there's not a lot of value in that. And I think I'm inheriting a program that went 8-12 last year. And they worked hard probably every game, but I saw some scores they won in the beginning and then lost in the second half of the season. So, those are things that I don't understand, and I have to work on, like as a coach, that if you're beating a team pretty good the first time, you're not mentally prepared the second if they're beating you.
Well, you got to remember this too. They say the hardest thing in the sports is to beat somebody 3 times.
Yeah, 3 for sure.
Okay, so we're gonna. And they're kids, right?
No, but it happens.
No, but they're kids, and I've seen it many times in my career. They won the first game. They, no matter what, they're looser going in the second game. They're mentally looser going into the second game, and that team that lost is more buckled up. And you're going to usually have a harder time in the beginning of the game, no matter what, because we're not. The other mentality is we're not going to lose again by 20. We're not going to lose by 5 goals. They come out hot, and why are you coming out hot? It takes a lot to get a kid to be ready to play those down.
Philosophy-wise.
But you know what, though? Remember this, and like you said earlier, the tides come and go. All things will pass, good or bad, right? If you're just passing on those victories, like, oh, they're expected. No, they're only expected because your team's putting in the better work. Your program has the better program, the better athletic director, whatever it is. That's why you're expected to win. And when you want to beat those teams you're not expected to win, it's usually an overall thing. Do you know what I'm saying?
100%,
like our basketball thing is Franklin's really good, Mansfield's really good. Those communities support that program intensely. The money that goes into those programs from their golf tournaments, from their they don't worry for naught. They got 6 assistants on the bench. They're all given a little bit of money and paid. It's basically a booster club, but you know what I mean? Like, it gets funded so that they can have people that can be on their staff. So when you're trying to beat a program like that, I don't look at it like I have to beat them. Yes, it is 100% a goal to beat them. And then you got to, if you're not beating them consistently, you got to look at your overall program. How do you make your overall program better? Because it's usually not just the kids on the ice that are determining it, or the kids on the court or the field or whatever it is in doing so. Zavarian is a perfect example. You can't beat it in football. You just can't. They got 9 coaches. They got, it's how are you going to get BR to go down there and beat Zavarian on a week in, week out? It's just not even remotely the same. And same thing. BR has school choice. So we get kids from other towns at our place. Your school choice, you know what I mean? Like, it's tough. Yeah. It's tough. So the only thing I'd say to you, Matt, is like, you get after it the best you can.
Oh no, and my point to that was the philosophy of it is that, something, you're beating teams that you should beat, but not putting the value into what that win took, because that other team is trying to beat you because they're not supposed to. If that makes any sense.
Of course it does. It's 100% what I just said.
So when I'm going into this, the way I'm going into it, I'm going to boast something real quick, and I'm not that guy. But I had no idea, and I had my players come to me with my 200th win plaque. I didn't know. Do you know what I mean? And
it's awesome.
They came up to the police department, Hunter Meter.
When was this?
2021. It was just after COVID. It was the COVID, like maybe the COVID season or just after that. And it was in the newspaper and stuff. And I'll never forget the one player. His name's Hunter Meter, he was on my men's league team last year. He's the reason we won. And
he was the reason you were that good that year?
Yeah, he was just a special player too. And really, these names I'm saying now are friends. You know what I mean?
Of course.
It's that change that happens.
That's what it's all about too, is getting some additional friends in your life, right?
But he brought me a thing up, and he made like this collage with some photos in it and everything. But then the team put together, the puck in there and stuff. And like I had kind of an idea, but I had no idea. Never mind. I remember the 100th and like whatever, and then you get the 200th, and it's like, how many?
That's impressive, man.
No, for me it was
200 is a number.
And you have a program down there that, like I said, you talk about the Severians and stuff, like the Vineyard for what they have is supported so well, and I probably could have had 9 coaches. I chose 1. You know what I mean? I didn't want a diluted message. You only have so many kids that you're coaching. There's 20
only
kids.
so many doors you got to open too.
And
hockey, man, is such a unique sport, and maybe this is a little segue into it is plays are not as common as philosophy, right? Would you agree with that? How would you go about it? And maybe the better way to ask is, what is your, you want to talk offensively in hockey? What's your thought process with offense in hockey?
Possession.
And what do you mean? Deep, keeping it deep, putting it on the net.
If you're going to dump it, you better go get it, right? Because you're giving up possession.
So then you want to come over the blue line with a puck every time.
If you have a 3-on-2 opportunity, you should be getting a shot on that. You know what I mean? Of course, yeah. If you're 2-on-2, you're weighing your odds. If you're going to dump it, get it behind the, cross ice behind that defenseman, and your other winger better be moving, and I'm going to do something a little different this year. I'll come back after the year if it works. Just a system thing where I've taken a look at, I know one of the kids' names. He's a captain. He introduced himself immediately to me at the first meeting that we had, and that to me was huge. So complete stranger walks up, introduces himself. I have practices lined up for the team and everything, organizational stuff that's there, and you can tell he's a leader.
Good.
And
check.
Yeah. So
big check.
Yeah, and I'm waiting.
Good for what's his name?
Cole Tomorrow.
Oh boy, Cole.
Yeah, and he's shown me something that he has no idea who I am, and me, him, you know what I mean? But it's like to have a kid who's a senior in high school, who's been through 2 coaches so far. So they had a 1-year coach last year, the BP athletic director, Mark Labita. He ran the team last year because they didn't have anyone, is my understanding. And he's a hockey guy, so it worked. And the guy before him was Mark Cabral, who coached for 25 years, my understanding. Like, I'm slowly getting the history down. This, you know what I mean? And but just, I'm lost there. What was I saying?
No, you're talking about the kid came up to you, got a captain. And we were talking about philosophy, offensive philosophy, right?
Yeah.
And you're talking about puck possession.
Just possession to me, move the puck quick defensively to offense, and then try and possess the puck. Work your way. But the one big change that, there's just not enough of that grit and that jam in the net stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I can't stand players carrying the puck behind the goal line in the offensive zone.
You know what I can't stand, Matt?
Yeah.
And I say this, I'm a season ticket holder for the Bruins. And even at that level, why the offside wing without the puck isn't busting the post really hard?
Oh, yeah.
I don't get it half the time. One, it's the goalie's going to know you're there quicker. I get it. You're Pasternak. You want to stand on the freaking circle. And even in the pros, though, even the Bruins that are there right now, a lot of those guys are grinders.
Oh, yeah.
You could only grind if you're in front of the net.
Yeah, that Arvidsson guy that Bruins have right now, you watch him, and he's not overly big or whatever, but he's in the paint.
All the time.
He's where it matters the most, And it's the thing for me that I watched Nauset High School last year, and they had all the pieces. The year before they lost in the finals in the Garden. And we had to play them twice last year too. And I'm just like, what is the difference? And it's like, they just jam your net. They have strong farm kids, you know what I mean? They're lifting hay bales or whatever. That's like my analogy, right? Just strong kids, and
we call it country strong. Yeah. They're just born strong.
I watched one of their players who was just this gritty player. He'd beat you, the defenseman, a little bit wide, and he'd never go behind the net. He'd ride the goal line in and just jam it.
Well, that's no different than like any other sport. You want to play defense in basketball, like Coach Neal was here from Franklin last. Get him on his weekend, and keep him there, You know what I mean? Like, and if you want to play offense, I'll let you do what you want for offense, but let's get in the paint before we start to create. Meaning, it's no different than hockey. Get the puck on net and good things happen. You know what I mean? Like, that to me has always been a philosophy for me.
And that's the next thing too. It's like, why are we going to shoot the puck? You watch the NHL and you watch these guys wind up and miss the net by 4 feet. I'm like, he gets paid millions of dollars and he missed the nets. You know what I mean? Like I've sent 2 videos.
Yeah, they got to be pinpoint accurate at that level too.
But get it on net, right? Because the battle's in front of
them.
They
used to say they had one line for the Bruins. They call them the high glass line. Everything they shot was off.
It's like you watch a men's league, some of the movies, that Goon movie, where the first guy skating around the ice, his first shot is 6 foot over the goalie.
No, I like that, and lower the better for me. I'm not. It's honestly. I
was gonna say I sent 2 videos, and that there's an app that reaches out to the players and stuff. 2 things to know before Sports U. It's called. I'm not.
We have it.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I think it's almost a state thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I had it in the Vineyard too, but 2 things I sent. Number 1, there's a video from this his name's Coach Butters from Wisconsin on how to block a shot. Okay. And the second one was the eye of the puck. When you're shooting the puck, you're looking from up here, the puck's down there, and it shows you the angles of it. And it's like, there's so much net open low. You know what I mean? But it's like everyone's trying to break the water bottle and do their celebrations. And like one of the rules I have, if you celebrate a goal you just scored by yourself, you won't be celebrating anymore. You better turn to your line mates because there's a reason you scored.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's for anybody that might listen to it. They have
Except for Conor McGregor. They might need to all get off the bench and some of the shit he does going through center ice.
Oh, yeah, McDavid. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, McDavid. Yeah. Conor wouldn't skate at all. He'd kick the shit out of you.
He'd just beat you to death.
Yeah, that's funny. If you get back to the defensive philosophy, then, what is your, everybody got to play 200 feet? I mean,
you got to, and that's the whole thing is you take a look at the cards you have to play, right? And what I'm seeing so far, like, I haven't identified players' position so much because they're scrimmaging a little bit, but, there seems to be that attitude to keep everything outside, which is good defensively, you know what I mean? But nobody's kind of bumping and moving. You know what I mean? Now, I love the physicality in hockey, not wallpapering somebody or open ice leg checks. No, bump and move. Slow them down just enough. You can make a good stick-on-stick play, change possession. That, to me, is like, that's the game.
Yeah.
So puck's on your stick. They can't score, and that's defensively first, right? And then the other thing is that your number should always be to your goalie. If your logo in the front of your jersey is heading back towards your goalie, you're on the wrong side of the puck. It makes sense to you?
Of course.
Numbers should always be facing your goal.
Of course. That means you're in the right position.
Years.
So then you got 5 goalies plus the goalie.
You got layers.
Yeah.
There's always layers. And if you're back checking, then you get behind that layer and you help him out. And, I hate being a team that, and I think I prided most of the teams that I had on it that when we had enough talent to do it, that no one ran through us through the zones. You know what I mean? They were always going to get necked along the way, be slowed up, unless you were just, there's a couple of these phenomenal players I've seen over the years that you're just like, oh no, I couldn't even slash them.
So how do you get these boys in shape? Do you have off-season training, off-season lifting, during season lifting, anything like that?
This year, nothing for me because I'm really just kind of getting an idea what the program is. But the Vineyard, I know last year we started in August in the weight room, and I think the coach there, his name is Mike Snowden. Coach Snowden's got something. He still kept that role. And granted, I'm a trainer. Personal trainer. So I talk to the wife.
Why do I not know that?
Well, my wife is the big thing. I got a certificate to please make myself look cool to her. But she's been doing it over a decade, right?
See what guys do, Darius, for they love it.
But she used to kind of write things out to me. I have to understand what they were. And then I'd bring them in and do kind of group stuff, a lot of body weight because the kids are so young.
Yeah. You got to do it by age for sure.
And eventually it will happen with what I'm doing here. It's not, I'm coming in. I wasn't here over this way till, middle of September. And then I don't have time, you know what I mean, to do it right for them. So if they're doing something great, but I know they're skating once a week, which is not enough, but it's, I'm sure they're doing other things. And
yeah, you know what? You're going to live and learn as you go through it as well, too. So you're inheriting somebody else's, as you inherited a good situation before.
Yeah.
God's funny.
Yeah, I know.
You have more patience now, man.
Yeah.
So
I'm
be hopeful, but
I'm so optimistic.
Yeah.
Because when I went into that first thing, and and I'm not one that, on the Vineyard we didn't play Southeastern. I think we played once. You know what I mean? And it was back when Timmy Page, who was a Bridgewater Rainham legend to me. His son, PJ, went to Southeastern. He was a defenseman there, and we played against him during that time, and I was just like, wow. There was 2 or 3 players there, but they kind of came and went, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're, they were around a lot, but we just didn't play them much. But I always knew they were there because it was like maybe we can go back to the Taunton area and play a game, because like Bristol Plymouth hockey wise is, I don't ever remember them being very good.
At all good.
I think Kevin Westfall went back in the day, right?
Yeah.
Because he went on to coach high school up in Westfield.
Yeah.
So just the connections, you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah.
You said that name. Yeah.
Yeah, but Bristol Plymouth, like I don't remember them being.
Yeah.
When I was at Bridgewater Rainham, we weren't very good, but we used to beat Bristol Plymouth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
Yep. And listen, we didn't get a chance to play BP. We should have, because Tom and I didn't win many games when I was in high school. I should say my junior and senior year, we didn't win many games.
Well, think about the league we were in.
Do me a favor. There's an old school picture, team in yellow. Throw that up on the board so we can check out. And then I want you to share it too, D, so it gets put up on the screen as well too. Yeah, make it the whole screen. Yeah, we talked about this before. This is one of the old.
Did you ever figure out the goalie? Because I didn't.
I want to say Beaupre.
That sounds right.
Right?
I'm not really sure.
I don't know if it was Neil Beaupre. I really think it was though. Never figured out the goalie. Yeah, but Kevin Westfall's right next to the goalie there on the left-hand side as we're looking at it. Then Joey Casella, Timmy Quill.
Yeah.
Top left,
that's TJ Gallagher.
TJ, yeah.
Jason Karras.
Jason Karras. He's doing great these days.
The handsome fellow with all the hair is me next to her.
Yes, Ricky Blue, me, Getchell, Gallagher, Gaffney, Moniz, Lynch, right?
Yep.
That was, and Tommy Halpin there as the coach.
Yeah.
What was he? Kevin's uncle?
Yes.
Right? Kevin's uncle?
Yeah.
Well, honestly, top 5 coach of mine all time.
Yeah, right up there.
I loved playing for him. Yeah. He made that game fun. We were talented. Talk about third line deep. Oh, my God.
No, I mean, that team, all those kids in there, for the most part, went on to be pretty good high school players. I mean, Casella, Joey, I'm still in touch with. He's been through a lot over the past couple of years.
Tell him I said hi if you see him.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him.
I don't see him. He's in Florida, but he's on Facebook guy. Casella, Lynch, Galligan. TJ stayed at BR for a couple of years and went to Tabor. But Karras was pretty good back when Coyle was something.
When my stepson Noah was playing, Getchell was coaching him for a couple of years. Yeah, I stayed in touch with Jimmy Gaffney.
Was Jason Karras at Coyle, or did he go to Taunton with you?
So he did both.
That's what
he got thrown out of Coyle.
Yeah.
And now I say that because I don't know if you follow him at all, but he's down in Tampa now. He's got a really successful business. He's a life coach as well too. He's just in great shape. He's doing great things. But he was a pain in the ass when he was a kid. He really was.
Because Blue went on.
Tough one to handle.
Ricky Blue went on and played.
Yeah.
He went to juniors or something.
Yeah.
Timmy Quill was with Stonehill,
right? He was a stud. Yeah. He was tough. Yeah. He's one of those that didn't play 200 feet though, not when we were in youth hockey. He played 75 feet and could fly. Yeah. He was a human breakout all by himself. He needed to be, but it was a fun team back then. Look at the long pants on Moniz and
I still wear them now.
I probably had them on there too. So it was fun. That was one of my favorite teams of all time, man.
I think that was shortly after the merge, right?
Yeah, right. So the whole Bruins things, I think you said it's Bridgewater, Rainham, Taunton, East and West. Yeah.
Because there was the Bruins and then there was Taunton Youth Hockey and they merged.
Bridgewater, Rainham,
because the Taunton Bruins no longer exist anymore.
Yes.
Because I was asking this in men's league the other day, and it's all the Tri-County Saints.
Correct.
You know
what it was? That was the travel team for the longest time, and Tri-County was the house team. And everybody just played house. They had so many teams, and then Tri-County decided, well, we'll have travel teams.
Yeah.
They just basically took everything over. So that's a good league, though. That's a good program.
And Robbie Gallagher, I played with Bobby Gallagher in high school. He was a tank.
He's so good. Yeah. He was just a great winger, straight up and down every time.
Yeah.
And Jay Doherty, remember that name? Jay Doherty is a year older than us. He's the same thing as Robbie, just kind of very similar player. I see him quite a bit too, but he was on some of our teams when we were younger.
Yeah.
He was older when we played with them, but I don't know if you did, but that was, how it was when one year you did the younger guy on the team, the next year you're the older guy on the team. You get 2 years in the same
youth
team.
Hockey, yeah. But all those kids that we can sit here and remember, that means we were pretty good.
That's life though, man. We were winning all the time that year. I remember one year played like 90 to 100 games one year because I was playing on the South Shore Kings.
Yeah.
And I played on the Mustangs one year, like besides this team.
I think this was during the time I went to the Hobbamock Chiefs.
Yeah. So everybody was playing a little bit more.
This yellow jacket with a big chief head in the back of it.
I don't know if mine's
wouldn't go over too well anymore. But.
No, I definitely have. I have my jerseys, believe it or not, the Mustangs.
I know
it's so funny. It's like a little, little kids thing. So you can pull that down to you whenever you want to. as you get like going through and you talk about brothers and you talk about, I love top fives. I love all that fun stuff. And I know it's off the cuff, but this is Hey Coach podcast. I'd like you to give a shout out to, I don't need to go in depth with it. Well, go in depth as much as you want.
Sure.
But who are your top five coaches? Doesn't even have to just be, who are your top sports influencers to you that, push you in a couple for hockey and just a couple overall? And then and the last but not least is, who do you kind of look at as a professional coach that you go, yeah, that guy's got his stuff together?
Let's see. Dad, my father coached me for a while, right? So you gotta take that. I still golf, and I golfed with him. I'm golfing him once a week right now.
That's
still
awesome.
Going. And just the stuff that he's taught me over the years as a father, never mind as a coach, but you can say it's all the same. Mr. Halpin, I remembered him. My high school coach, his name was Pat Grasso, was literally dealt no cards and made it an interesting thing for me. You know what I mean? But he played me, pushed me to a different level. I had a athletic director on Martha's Vineyard, name was Glenn Field, who was an administrator that was a big basketball guy, but he taught me a lot about. He probably doesn't know if he ever listened to this because he's retired, but I was a sponge when he spoke, And then like a professional coach that's out there, I don't know anymore.
Oh, all time. Even if anybody, like I say coach, you say, you know what I mean? Like
Scotty Bowman. I mean, like, you think back, I've read books
by him.
He's
so good.
Yeah, just and he wasn't,
yeah,
one of those players that it was like, oh, he's a player. No, people know him as a coach.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not.
It's hard. It's really hard to get Brenda Moore. You know what I mean? I think of him for hockey coaches, and it's really hard to get notoriety outside of the hockey community as a professional coach. I could have 10 professional coaches walk down the street in Taunton. Nobody's gonna know who they are.
Yeah.
If I have Joe Mazzulla walk by this place, and and half the people, I bet you couldn't even name who the Bruins coach is right now. And that's just the way it is with coaching there. How much do you think, like in a pro game, the coach makes a difference in the game?
Well, you're seeing the Bruins right now is that someone had said to me, we're not an elite team, and he's doing the, Marco Sturm, the way he used to play the game, and they're moving the puck up ice ASAP. And that's his whole motto. Let's go defense to offense as fast as possible. So it's a structural change I think the Bruins are going through, but it's like if you look at their roster, you have guys that are scratching to, the Middlestat kid that came over, and he's a high draft pick, I think, from Buffalo, trying to find his way. It's like we seem to be a team that's trying to find their way,
There's no top end talent here, bro. After Pasternak, it's straight downhill.
You just like, and who am I, right, to be talking about these players? But like the defenseman Zadorov, right?
Who are you? You're a man who has 25 years of hockey experience, but you have a lot more understanding of the game than the average human being watching a game.
The defenseman, the Zadorov guy, and I think when he got brought in, they're like, we have another Chara, and this Zadorov guy, he is one of the most powerful skaters you're going to see, but he's a knucklehead.
He's slow.
But if you watch him, his transition part, when he takes the puck over center ice and he's carrying,
straight
momentum
ahead.
and sides, he is.
Let's put it this way, and you know how important this is. He has slow hips for hockey. For a defenseman.
Yeah, his transition part of the game is. But you looked at the defense on the Bruins used to have Grzelcyk.
I love them.
Right,
Grzelcyk's great.
Now he was A to B, north to south, east to west, everything. One of the best skaters ever, but he just didn't have the overall. What's he in Philly now? Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
and something didn't work for him here. But you look
think about it. They're missing Torrey Krugs of the world to move that puck up. Charlie McAvoy's supposed to be it, but he honestly, I think he's gone down more than up in the last couple of years. Injuries obviously have hurt him a lot, and I think he's still
responsibilities.
Responsibilities is tough too.
He came in being the kid. Now he's got to be the man.
You know what? It speaks volumes when you don't have a captain. Yeah, when you can't. When you can't pinpoint somebody on your team and say, there's your guy.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's Marchand. Marchand was the guy. Like, you're telling me you don't believe in Pasternak. You signed him to 8 years. You don't believe in McAvoy. You signed him to long-term. Like, that says volumes, though, about what's going on in that locker room.
But you know that there are fantastic support guys, right? So, or the alternate or the assistant captains. There are very good guys doing that. But you put them in that role of being the guy.
Yep.
And they looked at it that way. Like, I think Pasternak is not looked at as being the guy. You know what I mean? He's a great.
It's goofy. He's a goofy kid.
Yeah,
he still is. And you know what? He's getting more mature, but it's very hard to grow out of those roles. Marshawn did it. Marshawn grew out of that.
100%. But you look at some of the guys there, that Tanner Janot, right? I remember his name because he used to beat the tar out of players. He plays a strong, solid game, and it's like, where is it, Tanner? Right? You know, I'm waiting. I watch all the games still. I'm crazy.
So do I, of course. You should see my wife. She's nuts. You should text her during the game. She's yelling last night. I'm in the office. She's like, "Come on, Swayman! I could have stopped that puck, and I can't skate."
And, I mean, he's good. I mean, the reason why I think people are beating up on him was because of the contract thing last year.
He's not great. He's not great. He was great. Yeah. He's good right now. He's not great. He's giving up soft goals.
Responsibilities.
He really is.
He's by himself now.
Yeah.
You know, if he's having an off night, Allmark would win in, held down the fort, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, and that's the whole thing about, you know, salary caps, deciding how much money they're going to spend on. We can't pay them both that because then you're going to have a whole bunch of third liners, you know, and, but you know,
they're missing top end talent on offense. They need, it's in the middle. They need a better, down the middle in hockey is no different than down the middle in baseball. You know what I mean? It's no different than down the middle in football. If you don't have that big defenseman, that big center, you know what I mean? Like you're usually struggling, and that's what they're missing. They never replaced a Bergeron. They didn't
replace any of them.
God, think back when Taylor Hall was on the third line for the like when we were winning 90 games.
Well, think of
we played 80. I think we won 90.
But you can think back to the Stanley Cup team, right? You have Dan Paille, Greg Campbell, and Sean Thornton, the Merlot line. They were fourth line. They'd work you to death, block shots, beat the tar out of you. You know what I mean? And they could play against the other team's first line for a minute, 40 seconds. You know, it's like but you have to have that top end that's putting those 2 or 3 goals in the net. And I think that, you know.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's even like with a high school team, you got to have that top 6 wingers that can put the puck in the net. The next line's got to be stable. And the next line, the fourth line for me is ours. I call it the hurricane line. It's going out there 1,000,000 miles an hour for 1 minute, and then I'll see you next period.
It's funny because I would say at the level that I've been coaching at, like the fourth line's not. They're the younger guys that just aren't ready, but have the talent, not to hurt a practice, and they're not touching the ice unless you're lopsided one way or the other. Yeah, and that's just
of course.
That's the parity that's around here. I mean, granted, there's some schools that are fighting to get somewhere, and some that are.
That's the football player who's stuck on special teams. That's the basketball player who's 8, 9, or 10 or 11 on the team. You know, like, and you hope none of those guys are seniors that you had to hold on to.
Yeah, for me, it's like, you know, I create a depth chart. I've always had one, and
you share it with the team.
It was, you know, it used to hang in my office, so if they come in to sit down, they could see it. Just you know, it was this magnetic board with stickers on it, with, you know, and it would rotate. But you know, you didn't lose your spot. You know, if someone else was working hard, they were going to try and, you know, I used to think back in the day of wrestling. If you were that 140 guy and someone wanted to take his spot, you had to beat him. You know what I mean? It's like, and I equate some stuff to that. If you want his spot, you know, maybe you'll play better than him today, but you have to consistently be better than him. And this is what the fun is for what I'm about to do. Do you know what I mean? Is to try and
start that all over type of thing.
Start all
over. Isn't that kind of like it's like a fresh start?
Yeah.
It's almost like you're a little voyeur. You're doing a little voyeurism right now. It's like,
every Sunday morning.
I want to see what everything. What am I inheriting here? You know what I mean? Like,
but I've seen things already that just, you know, you have a lot of players
to listen, to put it in. You're doing one Sunday morning. This week for our boys, it's 3 lifts.
Yeah.
You get an hour of basketball. They'll start at 6. They'll have a captain's practice basketball. Whatever drills, whatever they want to do is up to them. But then at 7, it's the lift part. You know what I mean? It has nothing to do with basketballs. And that's 3 days a week. And in the whole year, it's minimum 2 days a week.
But the interesting piece of that I have to get a grip on is that you have 2 schools, right? So it's not like, okay, we'll meet at Southeastern right when the school is out and do something, because you have the kids in Taunton from BP have to drive there or whatever. So that whole co-op thing is
wow. I forget that with that program.
So it's uniquely different.
How many BP kids are?
I don't have the full like split on what's what. You know what I mean?
And where do you practice at Taunton?
Well, that's interesting too. So it's 2 mornings. Wait till I tell you the practice stuff. This was like what? Monday and Friday morning at 5:30 in Taunton, and Tuesday and Thursday afternoon at 4 in Rainham. And that was
at 4 in Rainham.
4 p.m. in Rainham
on 138 there. Yeah.
So
that's For people who don't know, hockey 5:30 is ice is expensive. It's usually not as expensive, and they'll cut a deal or give it to the.
This is because they I don't know if it's the juniors and seniors, but I think it's the juniors and seniors in the vocational schools. They work every other week. Do you know what I mean? So like those morning practices have to happen.
You've been dealing with weird shit. Yeah. The Island Ferry, the co-op situation. Well, then you just don't get to go to school and say
there's not a bus. Yeah, like I was talking to Dan Tripp today. I actually have 2 athletic directors, but Southeastern is the host school, so Dan's the one I'll go through about. It's like, what do you want a bus for? I mean, what games? And I'm like, well, if we're going outside of the jurisdiction of Taunton or Easton, better yet, like, I arranged a game up at the Songa Center against Lowell High School this year, which I don't think Southeastern and BP kids have seen this, to go play in the Songa Center.
It's awesome.
It's going to be quite an experience. And then we play like Upper Cape Tech down at Gallo. And it's like, you know what?
You should take a bus there.
Yeah, but it's like the every game bus thing to me is like, it's sort of a hindrance for some of these kids. So it's like, as opposed to getting to, get to the game an hour before time, but I have to take 19 communities and make one team out of it.
Right.
Is the way to look at it, And there are some kids, like I'll send a text message to the captain. I have him be like, who is that kid out there? And he's like, I don't know. He's a freshman. Do you know what I mean? Like, and they don't know each other. They didn't play youth hockey together for years.
Right.
So, but part of that is the, something a little different. Cause I was asked that in the interview, like, what are you going to do with that? And it's like, hey, it's one team. You better show up and want to win. You know what I mean? If you want to be on the team.
Right.
And
gotta show up to one.
We're going to work hard. I don't care what the scoreboard says. If we give all of our effort, great. We'll get better every game. But, you're going to have, it's a roller coaster ride. You're going to have ups and downs, but I would have missed it if I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
And I
do
know.
Do you feel like you're a new kid again, like getting a new pair of shoes or something? How do you feel? Did it make you?
Let me tell you something, right? And this is no kick on Southeastern Bristol Plymouth, because now I'm the head coach of it. I feel like I went from driving a Porsche.
Of course. I
don't know if this thing even has 4 tires, right?
Yeah. You got the whole town, you got the whole island showing up for a Friday night game.
The booster club for this group is they've rallied, they're getting everything together, but it's like, talking to the athletic directors and be like, okay, what do you pay for? You know what I mean? And like, how does this work? Like, where do the uniforms come from? And, in learning all that. And it's like, the booster club that was on the Vineyard was just
insane.
Yeah. I mean,
that's the challenges between the haves and the have-nots.
And no locker room here, right? Like on the island, they walk across the street from school at 2:30, sit in their stall. They're all ready to go. Like, these kids are driving. And I have a different kind of respect for this now.
Of course.
Granted, it's only 10 minutes for me to get to the Taunton rink from where I'm living now. But like, you got to be at the rink by 5, be on the ice for 5:30. You're getting up for something. You're in high school. You know what I mean? So, and I have a respect, like these kids that will make it and show up there every day. It's like,
there's a level of commitment before you put one skate down on the ice.
And I think that's a choice of going to the school that eventually when you get into that area, you're getting ready.
Well, you don't have to worry about who wants to be there.
No.
It's not just 6 o'clock on, like tonight for me is 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
You did your homework. Hey, but you know what? I'll go play basketball too and see how that goes.
Yeah.
It's not all the kids there because it's a lot of hard work that we put them through. But in the same breath, it's not a deterrent in terms of just showing up and getting it done.
I saw that, the 5:30 a.m. and I'm like, I'm okay because I'm older now and I wake up early, but I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
I wouldn't understand that at 14 or 15 because you want to know why? It's not the 14 or 15-year-old. It's the parent driving them to practice.
And they're growing too, mind you. So
it's an extension of youth hockey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's where I have to like sort of let it be known that I'm being very transparent this time around with the booster club and the parents and stuff. But ultimately at the end of the day, I'm coaching the kids, not them.
Of course.
Yeah.
And so you're excited, needless to say. There's a little bit of, I can see it. Yeah. I could see when you were here the first time that this didn't work out.
Yeah.
There was a little bit more of the, you didn't want it to end. You knew it had to end for your family, for you.
Yeah. I thought this year I'd be doing something.
Yeah.
I didn't know what. I don't know if I was going to reach out.
I'm glad to hear your brain, your knowledge is going to be helping kids out. You know what? And I'm
thanks.
I'm even glad that it's going to be helping kids out that aren't driving the Rolls Royce of the hockey programs. You're not going over to a CM or whoever else just doesn't have to worry about anything. I don't care. We get the best ice time. We get the best shirts. I get the best, food, whatever it is. And you know what? You get like it's good. I mean, even at BR, we got kids that they need help.
Yeah.
They need a ride home. They need,
Yeah.
they got one mom, 3 kids, and they're trying to, get to basketball every night. And you have a lot of respect for those kids. They could take the easy road and just say, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
I'm just going to chill. I'm going to do stuff that'll probably get you in trouble. But, I got a lot of respect for the kids that are able to do that. And to be able to help them is as important as helping the best kids out on the team. So,
well, just the reality to think about it too is that these families and the kids that are there are making a choice to go into a trade school as freshmen, right? And they're saying a few things. Like I said, I spoke to one of the mothers. I'm like, why Southeastern? Like, let me know, type of deal. And he just didn't want to go to college as a freshman. Like, school's not for him. He wants to go work. A lot of
kids are that way, bro.
Oh my God. Like, think, these guys, I'm realizing now what I just went through in the money pit here in Berkeley, right? Is that, you need tradespeople. I mean, on Martha's Vineyard, there's such a shortage of all that. One of my best friends owns a plumbing company in the island. He's got guys coming from Off Island to work.
The most wealthiest person I know went to a two-year vocational school after high school.
Yeah.
He was a roofer. Then the roofing became, I could do the whole GC thing, and the GC thing became, he bought a cabinet country. He bought out a plumber. He bought out an electrician. Now he has like 250 people work for him out of upstate New York and Saratoga. He's, it's about the grind. And that I hope translate. There's 2 people who go to BP in Southeastern to me: the kid that really knows, and then the parents that's it. You don't know. I'm deciding for you. So you know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to BP because I don't see you don't do well in school, and you're not just going to go hang out with your friends at BR. You're going to go to BP.
Well, I think a lot
and the only thing I'll say to that is, I know a lot of kids who didn't get into BP in Southeastern.
No, I know.
And it's not just put your name down and you go like it was before.
I was told today there's 400 per class at Southeastern. So 1,600 kids.
It's the same as BR.
Yeah.
It's got to be, BR might be 500 now, but it's the same as that. It's a big school, man.
And there's also, you got to realize there's also, which I know is some of the parents are, dad's an engineer, owns his own company.
Of course. Yeah, why? I don't need you to go anywhere to do.
It's just, for me, right? It's a different path.
Yeah.
That it was never.
My son Griffin went to Wentworth. He was construction management. He went to BR. He laughs now because I should have went to BP. I could have still got into Wentworth.
Yeah.
I would have been better off knowing all that I would have got out of BP to go to Wentworth and do and he's doing great. He's working for a company up in Marlboro area and he's either assistant project manager or project manager, depending on the size of the job that they're currently on. I think he's a project manager right now for one of them. And God, I'm mad at myself for not remembering the name of the company, but he loves it. You know what I mean? So you got a group of, and I know he would have, if he could have decided in his 8th grade year, this is what I'm doing, he would have went to BP or Southeastern in a heartbeat. So I think you're getting a better group of kids than maybe ever before to go through those doors.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's a lot that I'm seeing that I didn't know, right? And I respect the heck out of that, right? I mean, I love learning new stuff every day when I'm finding out that, the freshmen go there and they have an exploratory stage of 6 months and they try all the different trades and then they bid.
Yep.
And I guess like electricians is number 1, HVAC is right up there, but there's like so many, at Southeastern anyway. Bristol Plymouth, I'm assuming, would be close to the same, but you may want to be going to HVAC and you don't get in.
Yeah.
Because it's the number 1 thing everyone wants. Yeah. And you're like, all right, well, I'll make do with becoming an electrician or whatever, and
stumble your way into some other good
because I don't know anything about any of it. You know what I mean? It's like,
I learned a lot doing this studio, I'll tell you that. But in the same breath, I know what you mean. I respect the guys that got that geometry down, that can cut wood with one cut. And
I'm hacking away. It's
God,
too long and it's too short by a piece.
Measure twice, cut once. That whole fun thing.
It's so funny.
You know what's funny is we've been talking this whole time. Dee, did you notice something in here? I forgot I mentioned. I'm giving a shout out to my boys. This is they play in my team plays in a fall league called the Beantown Slam and they've probably been in this league now 4 or 5 years, haven't won it, but this year they ended up beating Brockton in the finals to get this done. And we actually have a rising junior on our team, and his name's Mateo Jackson. He was the MVP of the group, but it reminded me when you were talking about brothers. we have there's a three brothers that have come through BR. I could tell you the brothers that have come through BR basketball. The Rubinskis brothers, three of them, unbelievable athletes. Like you just, when the last one was going, I told the mom, like, you not have any more kids?
Yeah.
Like, dad's 6'7", mom's 5'9", you know what I mean? Like, and then there's another family, the Terrell Williams and his two brothers, Kaysen Falk and Deshaun Falk. We got the youngest brother. He's the toughest one. He's just a badass, and he's coachable, and he's just grit, and he's tough, and so he's the leader of the team, and for no doubt. And there's two other guys, Cam Santos, Lee Williams. They're just going to be other captains on that team for sure, and driving this bus for us this year. I know we're going to be good this year for sure. And I don't say that like, pat myself on the back. No, it's these kids.
Yeah.
They just bought in at a different level than those years you get kids, right? But he's the youngest brother. And he's the toughest one.
You mentioned brothers. What about twins? You had a bunch of twins?
I haven't had twins.
Oh.
Have I had twins? You know what? I have twins right now, but they're not identical. I've had non-identical twins.
I've had so many twins.
Have you?
Oh.
That's awesome.
I had just a name throw, the Pepper twins, Elias and Zach Pepper. One was a defenseman, one was a forward. But if they switched sitting somewhere in the locker room,
oh, that's so great.
Yeah, no idea.
I coached AAU, and I had 2 6'6" kids, Cho and Steve. These black kids, they were Haitian.
Yeah,
couldn't tell them apart. Steve had a little scar on his forehead right here. He got hit with an antenna on a car or something like that. Yeah. That's what I'm talking to him, though. What I'm talking to him.
Yeah,
he's like, I can see your coach. You don't know who I am. You're looking.
I had 2 years ago. They graduated, the Conley twins, and I swear to God, I don't know if it was Liam or the other one, that one of them would cut their hair on purpose so I couldn't tell them apart. So I'd try and skate behind them to talk to them to see the number on the back of their helmet, and they'd shift. And they knew they were playing me half the time. But I'll tell you, those Conley boys were
great, man.
Tough kids, and all the way back to like one of our really bad years, I had two of the Smadbeck twins, and they were brilliant kids. Worked their asses off in hockey, but all their talent was in the classroom and stuff. I don't know what I think they went to Harvard. One of them did, and just played the game so smart, but just had a tough time for us.
So you got a couple of things I always like to do with the coaches, and we're an hour and 20 into this, so we got a little bit of time. But if you could give advice to a parent coming into the high school years, what would you say to them for their kid who's a freshman? Whether the kid's great or both, kid's not very good or kid is good, doesn't matter.
I've been saying this for a few years now. Give me the chance to do my job. And I think it was 3 or 4 years ago at the banquet on the Vineyard, I thanked the parents. Hey, thanks for the opportunity for letting me coach your kid, but letting me do it my way, where and that comes and goes. You know what I mean? But I've talked to this Southeastern BP group and said point blank, just give me a chance. I know, like, Tripp had put an article up on the Vineyard about me retired and stuff, and the parents got that info, and they're like, all right, we got this guy coming over here, but isn't he retired? Just give me a chance. I have an idea what I'm doing. I've been doing it a long time. It doesn't always work, but the core method of what I'm doing is I'm going to make them better young men no matter what. You know what I mean? And if they choose not to follow what I'm putting out there for them, which is a proven way of making them better players and young men, they probably won't be around long. So
makes sense. I mean, that's with all of us. It's got the Minnesota football coach row the boat. You know what I mean? Yeah. I can have a megaphone and say, I can't row the boat though.
Yeah.
But I'm the guy who's got to yell row, and we all got to do it at the same time, or it doesn't get anywhere.
But there's a shortage of coaches, high school coaches, right?
Well, some sports.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know, like I've seen, maybe not a shortage, the longevity. Like if you have a son that's coming in as a freshman, what I can say to the Southeastern BP parents, if your son's a freshman coming in, he'll be graduating with me. I gave them kind of a 5-year window of what I said, because I figured, I'm going to be 60 at the end of this thing. But
at the end of it, mind you, because you're not there yet. We're 55. And we're not old. We're not old men yet. Yeah.
I have the coaching staff that I've put together are younger. You know what I mean? And it's like, Joe Quinn at Coyle Cassidy ended up bringing the Borges brothers in, and he was a fixture on the bench, right? And but win for Quinn, I'll never forget it, because I was in the Vineyard side of that, and they won for Quinn. You know what I mean? Like it was,
Yeah, I mean, that's even like our coaching staff. Doug's in his 40s. I'm in my 50s, but we got two guys. His brother's coaching with us, who's in his 20s. We got another guy who's right around 30, Shaq.
Yeah.
Another guy who's in his 20s. It's a great mix.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think you got to have that no matter what. I don't think you can have all old or all young.
No.
You know what I mean? And I think it's when you get that right balance, and it sounds like you do, then you have a lot of success.
One thing I've tried to have is positional coaches for hockey. But yeah, I remember back in the day when we'd coach against Coyle Cassidy and the Borges were there. You'd look down at their bench and there would be, I think there was a coach for every kid sometimes, right?
Too much.
And if they happened to listen, whatever. Yeah. And I respected the heck out of them when they were at Coyle. And I just played hockey with Daryl the other night. He's a Taunton police officer. So, and they'd have laptops and iPads on their bench. This is before I even knew what they were. So like they were just ahead of the game. They went on to Stonehill.
Yeah.
They took over the
Stonehill
program.
That's why they weren't there that long either. So.
Yeah. Well, then Coyle closed, right? And it's like, but I used to look at it back in the day and it's like, all right, those Catholic schools or whatever it was, but like they had a tiny school, you know what I mean? But they were successful programs.
They were scouting. No, Timmy Quill goes there from East Bridgewater. Like,
yeah, well, I mean,
Kenny Oliveri's going there from Lakeville, and
there was an opportunity to go, and
I should have went there if I wanted to play hockey, honestly, and you should have too. We should have all just put the bus and took that team that we were just looking at and threw them over there, and we would have caused havoc.
Kirk Laporte, there was some players that kids I was friendly with that were at Coyle. If we all went to that one school,
any school, pick a school, it would have been fine, but. So let me ask you this, just kind of the fun stuff. Give me a clip out there. Give me your top 5 NHL players all time. Start at 5. Give you like 2 seconds to think of that one. Because like for me, my 24 started and is because of Terry O'Reilly. I just love the way he played, and he wasn't the greatest of all time. But, then Cam Neely comes after him, in the same vein. And
I guess great when you say great.
You're who you remember as a kid. And
all right, like number 5, I'm going to say Chris Nyland.
Oh,
all right. He made great things happen for his ability.
Yeah,
right.
Not a big dude, but he was tough.
He's not going to go out and score a million goals, but I'll tell you what, you didn't leave you moved up and sat on the ottoman with Hasek.
You didn't score a lot when he was on the ice either.
I loved watching Lucic. I wish he didn't have his issue when he came back to kind of go.
Good Lord, dumbass.
And they're all going to be relatively. I mean, Bergeron's definitely top 3.
Yeah, man. What a great. I just think Bergeron. I think the world of him. Like, I don't wear a jersey of anybody younger than me, but if I was going, that's just my own thing. Like, I'm not going to wear Tatum's jersey.
Yeah.
That's for Darius over there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wear Terry O'Reilly's. I would have wore Bergeron's.
Yeah.
I would wear Bergeron's and just be like, that's because he is that.
I wish I had more opportunity, whether I make him number 1 or 2, to watch Bobby Orr play.
I just think we're too young, bro. Like I was named after Derek Sanderson, who's playing with Bobby Orr, and I get it. I don't think we count when it comes to watching, a couple of clips of him. Basically, if I get my parents watched him night in, night out, and my father says he's the greatest hockey player he's ever seen play. So
of course, I'm only naming Bruins.
Yeah, of course.
Right?
And honestly, I might go down that road too. But I like Mike Bossy. The New York Islanders back in the day.
Before us too, though.
No, 80s, bro. He won 80 to 84. Like that's when Kenny Morrow came out of the Olympics, and
the Islanders were
a dynasty back then. That was the first one. And then how could you? I
think I told you about the guy Mick Vukota, who was the tough guy for them.
Yeah,
actually was on the island. I coached 2 of his kids.
No.
Yeah, Mick Vukota was the tough guy. Led the New York Islanders in like penalty minutes in it for forever.
And for those that don't know, back then you had to have a tough guy. It was fighting was mandatory.
Such a nice guy.
Wayne Gretzky had Marty McSorley for his whole career just to make sure nobody would freaking touch him. So
and such a nice guy. He's he come down to the island, moved there. His family started up. I coached 2 of his kids. Both of them were just very good players. But this guy was salt of the earth. But he'd show up for men's league and mix it up sometimes, right? And you wanted to stay out of the way. His hands were like
stone
suitcases. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyway, so like,
but think about the Edmonton Oilers. I love Paul Coffey, the way he moved the puck as a defenseman. Like he was soft hands, and he wasn't as good as Bork, but he was pretty close. And then you throw Gretzky with Messier and Yari Curry, and
any of those guys, right? If I was gonna stick with the Bruins and stuff, Chara's right in there. Just as much as I used to hate watching him.
All right, so now you thought of it.
Yeah,
you put out names.
Yeah,
number 5.
Let's go with Lucic at 5.
Number 4.
4. Marshawn, who I didn't mention.
Oh, that's such a good one. I love Marshawn.
He's got to go in.
I love number 3.
I'm going with that whole.
And it's all Bruins. Let's just keep the Bruin train
Number
going.
3, Timmy Thomas.
Ooh.
I'm just throwing names out there.
Yeah.
I'm really getting.
Number 2?
Charo, one's Bergeron.
Yeah. I think I'm going to go a little older school than that. You know what I mean? I definitely would. I would have in O'Reilly's going to be 1. Neely's going to be 2. Those are just my 2 favorite players.
Yeah.
And then Bergeron's 3 for me. And as I look back, like over the years, like there were some fun years. Rick Middleton was really fun to watch. So Marchand's in there. Middleton might be in there. Like there's just a bunch of names at 4 or 5 that could just be thrown around. But I think my 1, 2, 3 are pretty set in stone.
For the most exciting players, though, that I could sit here and talk about, you got Lucic as a reason. Nyland, Jay Miller, John Wensink.
Jay Miller passed, huh?
Stan Jonathan.
Jay Miller that passed?
I don't know if he passed. He's got a bar down the Cape. I don't think he's still.
Well, who's the one that was on the Greg Hill show all the time?
Byers.
Lyndon Byers. Sorry,
yeah.
LB passed away. Not sorry,
like,
Jay Miller. I know you're not going to listen to this anyways, but
he's got a bar down the Cape called Miller's Court.
I've heard of that. Yeah. I didn't know that was his.
But that's him.
Oh, that's cool.
But those guys, down the Cape anyway, like Nick Fotillo used to fight for the Rangers. Like these guys are like the nicest guys in the world. The toughest job. They usually are. Yeah. But I got to know Mick Vukota pretty well. He coached the junior varsity team for me one year, and just these guys are just they're out. You ask them why they did what they did, and it wasn't clear. It wasn't granted the paycheck wasn't bad, but it wasn't what they were making. They were protecting the guys making millions.
That's what it was.
And
protecting the quarterback. They were like a left tackle in football is all they were. So,
and I'm not this huge advocate for fighting in hockey, but it's like it's exciting, man. You know what I mean? And especially at the pro level.
You know what though? I like how they got it now. No more fighting on the ground. I don't like that if you drop your gloves first, you automatically get a penalty. So then you're choreographing, or it's like I gotta talk to you, you gotta talk to me, we got to agree to drop at the same time, and sometimes it's needed in hockey. You know what I mean? Like I think the collision aspect of hockey is playing all the sports I've played. Football and hockey are unique. Football's a lot of bumping and really hitting within 2 or 3 yards. Hockey, man, you could just have a full head of speed, which means you're going as fast as the fastest NFL player. Even in high school, you're going to be doing 20 miles an hour and you're knocking somebody.
Yeah.
And if you're doing that intentionally to hurt someone, you can hurt someone really bad in hockey.
I think the interesting thing is the code of hockey is still there.
It is.
What's changed a little bit is that a good body check back in the day was a good body check. Good body check now, you have to look out because someone's coming to get you because they think
I don't like center ice good body checks.
Yeah,
never have.
No, but I'm just saying, like it's one thing if you go out there and lay Pasternak out, right? Someone's coming after you, but when you're going through on a good body check on another third liner, and someone's trying to fight you now.
But
it's changed.
Me personally, and I've always felt this way. I watched Eric Lindros' career end.
Oh.
I don't think there's on the Devils.
Right.
I don't think there's any reason. You give me one reason why you have to have a check in center ice.
Well, you think back in the day that Darius Kasparaitis with his hip checks. I mean, that was you'd ended careers hitting their knees.
Yeah, and football just is eliminated drop hip tackling.
Yeah.
A hip check in center ice makes no sense.
I just think that that's what's changed.
Yeah.
Protecting players, like this concussion.
No, but I think the rules still need to go further. I don't think there's any, you can break up. It's like the NFL. You used to lay people out going over the middle. Now you don't.
Yeah.
You just don't. It's not part of the game. And you know what? Hockey should take cue on that, because I think on the boards is fine.
Yeah.
You're going up and down the boards and you got to stop somebody. Yeah.
You don't see much of what you're saying that much.
It's still there. It's still there once a night. When I watch a game, there's one hit, or Charlie McAvoy for the Bruins he's known for doing it.
Yeah.
Like he's known to lay you out at coming across center ice.
But there's that mentality of stepping up at your blue line that we remember as kids, right?
Of course.
And you see some defensemen are just, they put you in the milk bottle, bring you to funnel you where they want, and just murder you.
And on the boards, I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
If you know what, you're going to skate down these boards, and the only way I can stop you is to knock you, great.
Yeah.
But when you're coming through center ice looking for a pass, and you're catching the pass, and this guy is just rocking you, he can do 5 other things to get that puck.
And that's
from you.
why I don't know,
I think that's where, though,
when I talked about the Betancourt brothers.
Yeah.
Like Timmy Betancourt was a captain, was a little guy, but he lifted weights and he murdered people.
Sean Thornton's not that big, and he's tough as nails too, bro.
Yeah.
Met him in person. He came up to my shoulders, but he would knock me out.
But you have those players that can play like a fire hydrant. You know what I mean? And I mean, my whole method, I'm telling you right now, is you don't have to wallpaper anybody. Bump and move.
Yeah.
Just disrupt the flow of the puck. Go stick on stick. Take it. But you're gonna have to get gritty in the corners, And I can't stand, hits from behind, selfish penalties like this. I'm too old for it now. To watch.
Well, you got anything on your mind? We're getting to that time.
No, I'm glad we got it.
We got this out of the way, Darius. This is how you prove that your job is secure. If this thing works. If it doesn't work, we're never inviting Matt back again. Don't tell Matt. But if it does, we're going to be good to go. You got anything you want to say there, D? Anything going on?
I have a question about what's going on in this picture right here.
All right, so
hockey's a little interesting sport, by the way.
So the guy sitting in the chair was the one you interviewed last time. That's Max Sherman. He was my assistant coach then. I'm pretty sure he had made a bet with the players, and if they had done something, whatever, he said he'd shave his head.
It's not uncommon for hockey players to dye their hair blonde, to shave their heads in unison.
I've seen them dye their hair blonde.
Now, I might be standing behind them helping.
Yeah.
They dyed blonde the past couple of years and stuff. But but they all shave their heads now. And
nice shirt, by the way, Mincone.
Yeah, I just realized looking at it right now. Certain things you have to be known for, right?
Yeah, that's great. Oh,
but the one thing in my mind I will say is I had mentioned before, and since it didn't go on, I was like, this is a really cool platform that you're doing. You know what I mean? Because there are, and as a coach, there are moments out there that all you have is your wife at home. You know what I mean? Or your kids that understand what you're doing. And to have the brother or the family and sisterhood of coaches that are out there. It's like, I've often said things too, is like, I did it for so long and I felt so isolated over on the island. I became sort of friendly with Paul Moore as a big time coach in Falmouth, meaning big time, he's done it for a long time. And just to knock ideas off, and everyone's dealing with the same stuff. But maybe, just maybe, something different than I don't.
Well, you know what I like is I have a real passion for hockey. You know that.
Yeah.
It's true.
Absolutely.
I coach basketball. I love golf. Like, I have this weird obsession I love sports. And I'm I just find that people like you who've dedicated so much time and energy into a passion and a love, I want to talk to them.
Yeah.
How'd you do it? How'd you do it for that many years? That's success. That's success in and of itself. It's love. Yeah, at head coach, you get a little more admiration or the paper. And I know you're not in it for that. No. You know what I mean? So, and I know the good guys that are doing all this, CJ and everybody I've had in here, they're not doing it for that. You know what? They got a competitiveness to them usually. That's like, I want to win. I don't want to effing lose. Yeah. Like Mike Vrabel, I'd rather learn from winning than learn from losing. You know what I mean? So we're not showing up to any game wanting to lose, no matter if they're better than us or not or whatever. We want to win. I think that's an underlying factor with everybody. But then I also know there's a real side to all of them. There's a real side to helping kids, to having them on your men's team after you're done. Yeah. And I love hearing these stories. And they're consistent. They're consistent no matter what sport we play. And I think that's the valuable part of what this is say you're just a hockey guy. Trust me, listen to my basketball interviews. You'll learn a lot.
Yeah.
You'll see, how do you structure a practice? How long do you go with a practice? How long do you get after somebody, who's down or up, or, you know what I mean? How do you get your best players motivated? It's a common theme within each of the sports, and they're more intertwined than you think. Hockey's a lot of, like, if you're playing basketball, it's all fast breaks. If you see a fast break in basketball, get on the wings, get at the ball in the middle, move the puck, crash the net. You know what I mean? Like, crash the back post.
Basketball is foreign to me.
Yep, I'm telling you,
it's
though.
It's a winter sport.
Yeah, and
I'm a hockey guy.
I didn't play a ton of basketball as a kid. I played more than you think. I played Bay State games. I played all the rec leagues and CYO leagues because I had hockey all the time. But I was just a kid that was constantly going.
Yeah.
But coaching basketball, I love it. First of all, it's indoors. It's warm.
Yeah.
But I think in basketball, you get a little bit more coaching than you do hockey. There's so many more points. Okay, so you have different offensive sets that you can run each time down the court, sort of thing. And I love the fluidity as a player playing hockey. You get the puck at the blue line in a certain situation, the coach doesn't tell you what to do. You know what to do from how long you've been playing, and that's the part that I really enjoy. So.
Yeah, that's the preparation. Put them through, every, that mentality. I know we're wrapping up here, but the mentality that, okay, it's practice today. No. You know what I mean? The fun, you should be practicing like you're going to play. So when you're put in that situation, but that's the proper prior planning part, and that's the job of a coach, I think, not just hockey. It's not just hockey. Show up 45 minutes before, hour before. Oh, you're late 10 minutes? Guess what? You just got fired. You know what I mean? Like those little life lessons that I hope hold on, you know what I mean? Through, I don't want a text message. We're not going to be a practice. Call me. I want to hear your voice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just little things like that, because that way I'm going to go to bat for you. If you tell me the truth, that goes a long way. Hey, I'm late because I was late today. Okay. Don't be late again. You're late the next time, I'm going to buy you a watch. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to keep working on this because I'm not going to quit on you, but don't, show the effort, because we're there. Coaches, we show up, I mean,
Matt, that is clip number 1, what you just said. Great. I love it. Yeah. And again, the reason for this, and I'll continue to do it. I found that I'm going to continue to do it at my own pace. When it feels right, when I want somebody in, then they're coming in, and I'm fortunate right now. I probably am 3 deep, which is great. Which for me to get a little publicity, one of my next guests is going to be Mike Fox. He's a Taunton legend. He's actually created their Hall of Fame, the Taunton Hall of Fame for sports. Okay. So I'm having him in. He's got his second class going in, so I'm having him come in to talk about the second class. My quarterback when I was in high school, John Castle's one of the inducted people going in. So that's a fun one that I'm going to have. And I got a baseball coach from Plymouth that's going to come up. I played a lot of baseball in my life too, believe it or not, which is fun to talk about. So I've got Dan Bjorn is going to come into the studio, was the BR football coach for 25 years, a couple of championships under his belt as well too. So he'll be real fun to have in here too.
He graduated after me. Oh, wait, because there was a bunch of Bjorns.
Yeah, he's within our age. Yeah. He might be a couple of years.
Bjorns,
I think Dan's a couple of years.
Schwatzes, that were just like football.
Yeah.
They walk down the hallway, you just get out the way.
They're a football family of Bridgewater. Yeah. So he'll be fun to have in here too. But I'm going to practice. I got 20 minutes before I'm going to be stepping on the court watching my guys, do their own little thing. So it was fun, Matt. I really, really appreciate you giving me that second time, and I wish you nothing but success over there. You and Danny Tripp. I hope you guys have a great year. I think it's going to be a great year no matter what. Yeah. You're going to have so many new things to ponder about. And
looking forward to it.
And I hope you kick ass, man. I really do.
Appreciate it.
Do you got any last words, brother?
Oh.
All right. Much love.
Thank you. There. Appreciate it.
We'll catch you until next time. This is the Hey Coach podcast. Hey Coach 224 podcast. I'm supposed to do stuff like that, D. You know what, though? We'll probably just end with our little QR code so everybody knows where they can find us. Be good.